In the Gambia, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education on Thursday revealed that 13,424 students have secured the government pass mark in the Gambia Basic Education Certificate examination, out of which 31 students bagged aggregate of 6. This news was disclosed at the ministry's headquarters in Banjul. Mafuji Sise has the details in this report.
The Gambia Basic Education Certificate examination was held in late July this year, following the completion of the West African Senior Secondary School Certificate examination. The delay was said to have been caused by the military operation launched in Casamas that has a close proximity to the western part of the Gambia territory. This caused an unfriendly environment for students at the affected areas to learn in a conducive environment, as some fled from their villages to settle in the neighboring communities. The Grade 9 examination went ahead shortly following the restoration of calm in the affected areas in Fonyi. According to the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, the registered number of students in this year's GABES examination was 27,783, but 27.018 students sat for the examination. The difference in registered and sitting candidates is usually said to be as a result of reasons such as relocation, death, etc. of a student. With this year's results, at least 13,424 students scored between aggregate 6 to 42, which saw an increase in last year's results, where 12,354 students scored at least aggregate 6 to 42. Out of the 31 students across public and private schools who secured aggregate 6, 18 were girls and 13 boys respectively. The female gender this year has raised their performance compared to last year, where 7 females scored aggregate 6. The male gender was 12 in 2021. Unlike last year, the year's school performance was topped by the private school, as they secured 10 out of 19 schools with aggregate 6, having the Gambia Methodist Academy and Don McMahon Foundation Upper Basic Schools sitting top with 4 students securing aggregate 6. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Louis Moses Mendy, in narrating the analysis of the results, attributed the performance of the students based on their improvement, not the surge in number. Admitting to some of their constraints, such as deployment of teachers, he called for communal support to mitigate this challenge. He stressed the ministry's vision.
That is mathematics, English, science, and SES. That's what we try to do. Okay? If you look at English, for example, in 2020 you have 11,419. In 2021 you have 14,254. And in 2022 you have 13,662. So you will realize that in 2020 there was a slight drop, which picked up in 2021.
The MOPSI, referencing the performance of both public and private schools, admitted the fact that there is a need to improve at public schools. However, he also stated the need as to the prioritization of the public schools.
We want you to keep it up. Anytime you heard about an issue, you are not clear about an issue, the office of the Permanent Secretary is open, or the regional director's office is open, or any officer in the ministry. This is a ministry that you can speak to the education officer, speaking to the Permanent Secretary, the same kind of movement you have. So feel free to come forward and share with us your doubts so that we can clear the air for us.
From 2020 to this year, the number of students with the government's pass mark increases at an amount of 11,358. By gender, 5,567 boys secured aggregate 6 to 42, whilst 7,857 girls secured the pass mark, thus showing an increment of pass rate at 48 and 50% respectively. The ministry revealed that a token of results has been issued at schools since yesterday, and students are urged to visit their respective schools to collect their results. Though schools have resumed, so far there is no grade 10, but in the second week of October, students are expected to settle at their schools for lessons to continue. Mafuji Sise, Eyeafrica News.